With all the hype around AI these days, you hear a lot of big claims, but what really happens when we take it out of the lab and put it to the test in, say, a real classroom? Well, that's what we're doing today. We are settling the score with a head-to-head teach-off to find out who's actually better at explaining algebra, a seasoned human teacher or a cutting-edge AI tutor.
Okay, so let's just get right to it. This isn't some philosophical debate. We're asking a really simple, direct question. When you actually need to learn something, who's the better teacher? To figure this out, we decided to run a real-world experiment. So in one corner, we've got a veteran teacher, someone with years and years of invaluable classroom experience. And in the other corner, a super powerful AI tutor, basically engineered to deliver information with perfect precision. This is experience versus algorithm. It's human intuition versus pure data.
Now look, to get a real answer, we couldn't just wing it, right? To make this a truly fair fight, we needed a clear set of rules. So that's exactly what we did. We designed a proper educational showdown.
And the battleground for our teach-off? A classic topic from algebra that, let's be honest, can trip up a lot of students, solving linear equations. It's really the perfect test because getting it right is all about following a clear step-by-step process. So fairness was absolutely key here. We kept the playing field completely level. Both teachers covered the exact same topic using the exact same examples. They both had identical time limits to teach, and afterward, students were tested and scored on 3 key things. See, this isn't about opinions, it's about the data. All right, with the rules all set, it was time for the main event. Let's take a look at how each teacher actually went about explaining the problem. So the veteran teacher went with a classic time-tested method. You know the one. They started with a definition, walked through an example step by step, and this is super important, they anticipated a common mistake to help students avoid it. Then they finished up with a quick check to see if everyone was on the same page. Really methodical.
Now, to keep the test totally fair, the AI was prompted to follow the exact same structure. It started with the same definition, it used the same example, and it even highlighted the very same common pitfall. The whole goal here was to isolate the teaching style and see how effective it was, not the content itself. So, after both lessons were done, the real question was, did any of it actually stick? To find out, we put the students to the test. This was all about measuring which teaching method was truly more effective.
And this wasn't some huge, stressful exam. Nope. We just used a simple 3-question comprehension check. The questions were designed to directly measure if the core ideas from the lesson were really understood, all based on a simple, straightforward rubric.
And remember, this whole showdown was being scored on 3 specific things. First, how clear was the explanation? Second, how quickly did the students get it? And maybe most importantly, what was their retention? Could they actually remember and use it later on? Okay, the moment of truth. Let's look at the final scorecard. And, wow, this is where it gets really fascinating. The AI tutor actually scored a little higher on speed. Students felt like they learned the steps faster with it. But the veteran teacher pulled ahead on both clarity and, crucially, on retention. The human explanation simply stuck better in the long run.
So the scores tell us what happened, but now we got to understand why. Let's dig in and break down the story behind these scores to see where each teaching style really shines.
The AI's big advantage, its perfect pacing and interactivity. I mean, it delivers information at a consistent, logical speed without ever getting tired or going off on a tangent. And you can ask it for another example, or a quick summary, or just endless practice problems. It's a machine built for repetition and reinforcement.
But the human teacher's strength? Well, it was in something much harder to measure: nuance. A great teacher can see that little flicker of confusion in a student's eyes. They can spot a hidden misconception that the student might not even know they have. And they can give that little bit of motivation that helps them break through a tough spot.
So here's a huge takeaway from all this. When you're learning a straightforward step-by-step procedure, an AI is an incredibly powerful tool. Seriously, it's like having a perfect set of instructions that you can look at whenever you want, on demand.
But when it comes to tackling the subtle why behind the what, or clearing up a really deep-seated misunderstanding, or, just finding the encouragement to keep going when things get tough, that's where humans are still completely unmatched.
What this showdown really proves is that it's not about one being better than the other. Not at all. It's about using the right tool for the right job. So let's turn these findings into a practical strategy you can actually use to learn smarter, not harder.
Okay, here's the playbook. Use an AI when you need to learn the raw mechanics of something, the steps. Use it when you want a quick summary of the key points, or when you need to just drill endless practice problems. But lean on a human teacher, or a tutor, or even a friend who gets it when you're stuck on the nuance, when you need to clear up a fundamental misunderstanding, and when you just need that little spark of motivation to keep going.
So in the end, the real winner here isn't the AI or the human. It's the student who knows how to use both of them. And that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. How are you going to combine the strengths of both AI and human expertise to build your own personal, unstoppable dream teacher?